Number 1, an Osage product from Osage, Iowa, Doug Schwab.
Well, he's really come on. You know, he's takes people off their feet and puts them on their back, and that's what he's been doing for a couple of years. He's doing a good job. Here he is again, same type of action. In and up and around and putting them on their back. Doug Schwab.
He's relentless and also undefeated as an Iowa Hawkeye from the Chicago area, TJ Williams.
Well, TJ Williams is undefeated, like you said, and he's kind of trying to make everybody forget about his brother Joe. They want to say Joe who out there, but you know, he's a great, talented young athlete.
Well, the Iowa State Cyclones, why are they ranked number 1? They're returning 5 All-Americans.
They certainly are. It's you know, with Sandersons and Heik and all kinds of guys. So you know, they're right there with all the points and the numbers.
Well, leading the way are 2 super sophomores. One 165-pounder, Joe Heskett.
Joe Heskett is everywhere, as you can see here. He's putting people on their back. He's rolling around, and he's basically, you know, one of those guys that if you let up for a second, he's going to put you in trouble, and he's going to just get another victory like he's used to.
And the third Sanderson brother, national champion, only a sophomore, K.O. Sanderson.
Well, all he did was win the Outstanding Wrestler as a freshman. Never been done before, so as far as I'm concerned, you know, he's well on his way to making history.
Well, Dan, we're not alone. We're not just 2 this year, we're 3. We have a new partner this year, and our viewers remember him as a native Iowan. They remember him as an NCAA champion for Iowa State. They remember him as a national champion coach for the Cyclones. Yes, he was a great wrestler. He was also a national champion coach, and in 1987, the last time Iowa State beat Iowa, you were coaching, and so was he.
I'm trying to forget that, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to welcome you here tonight, Jim Gibbons.
Well, thanks, Dan. Thanks for the warm welcome. I'm happy to be part of the new role here in the 24th year of college wrestling. Coming after last year's season, there was 2 real happy coaches, and that was one was Jim Zaleski, winning the national championship last year, second time, now going for his 3rd. The other person that was awful darn happy was Bobby Douglas, knowing what he had coming back. And he has a great team, but the true measure, I mean, both these programs measure themselves against each other, and we'll just see how it goes. So there you have it. We'll be right back after we tell you who's brought this program possible.
Funding for this college wrestling presentation has been provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television, by the Independent Insurance Agents of Iowa, whose personal, professional service is their #1 priority, all the time, every time. By Plain Talk Printing, a Des Moines-based commercial offset printer helping Iowans send clear, colorful, and focused messages for over 100 years. Plain Talk Printing, raising the color bar to a new standard. And by Allied Insurance, a member of Nationwide Insurance, proud to be a supporter of Iowa's outstanding college athletes.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's matchups. We've got starting at 149, Dan, Zadic versus Maldonado, Williams versus Sanderson, Anderson versus Heskett, McMahon versus probably Hooker, Jenn versus Sanderson, and then we go on up with Weber versus Thompson or Britton at heavyweight, that big rematch, Hand and Heik. Strittmatter, the new transfer, also Azevedo, Jurgens, Sanderson, Schwab, and Marchetti.
I'll tell you, the momentum basically is for Iowa State, because Iowa State upper weights are favored to win, and Iowa's lower weights are kind of favored to win. So this starting here gives the Cyclones a little bit of that advantage at the beginning of the match.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting where we're starting, Dan. Mike Zadic, he's 7-2 for the Hawkeyes. He's a sophomore versus Billy Maldonado from Iowa State, and he's 12-1. And the last time they met, a few weeks ago,
well, it went all the way down to the flip of the coin in double overtime, and I believe Maldonado won that match, and I believe he escaped, or he rode him out, one or the other, but he definitely won that match.
Well, there's a little size difference, as you could tell. Mike Zadic trying to make the team at 141 and did not beat out the returning national champion Doug Schwab. He's spunky, but he's up against a little bigger opponent in Billy Maldonado.
He's in on him on an edge of mat. A key situation right here. It looks like Maldonado, a 2-point takedown.
It's big getting the first 2 points, isn't it, Dan?
Hey, every point is big. That's what they said. I'm just copying the coaches. Here he is on a low single leg, and he picks it up off the mat on the edge, driving off to the far leg, far knee, 2-point takedown. Maldonado.
I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable, and we're just getting underway with the big Iowa State-Iowa dual meet, our season opener for the year, and we're at 149. Billy Maldonado from Iowa State leading 2-1 over Mike Zadic from the Hawkeyes.
That was a big takedown, but you know, he's already escaped, and so there's no writing time, and they're back on their feet. It's going to be a long match.
We just took a peek there at the Iowa Brain Trust, who Dan, my partner here, left in good hands with a couple of years ago when Mr. Gable retired from coaching and left the reins to Jim Zaleski.
You know, this is one of the keys of the meet right here. This is one of 3 weight classes, 149, 133, and heavyweight are the 3 key matches that went toss-up. So right now, Iowa State has a lead, 2-1 in a toss-up match.
You're right, Dan, all the pre-publicity on this match, they talked about those 3 weights, 133, 149, and heavyweight, and they said if anyone team could win 2 out of those 3, it would put him in great position.
Easy on the edge.
There's Bobby Douglas in his 8th year at Iowa State after being the Arizona State coach, where he won an NCAA.
There's a shot by Zadic, and he's up in the air with it. He hesitated. Now it's anybody's.
What's Zadic need to do right here?
He needs to clear his head out of the crotch area or put him in trouble, and he's trying to put him in trouble there a little bit. He's got to get his head out of the crotch area, get it into the position of the far hip.
Got nothing.
Right now, the referee's going to look for a stalemate. It's not there yet. There's still action. Still action. Zadic needs to convert this to a takedown. Maldonado needs to get a stalemate or hang on there. It looks to me like it's going to be a stalemate situation.
Bobby Douglas cheering on his wrestler, Billy Maldonado, who leads 2-1 over the Hawkeye, Mike Zadic. Did Maldonado do the right thing in keeping his legs where they were that time?
What he did was he controlled the arm very well. He controlled the arm. He kept his knees tight against the head, but he controlled the arm around the body, which limited Zadic in his movement. Therefore, got the stalemate.
Maldonado from Iowa State's been in on Zadic and completed it for a takedown. Zadic's been in deep on Maldonado, but came away with nothing. Score 2-1 now as we head to the end of the first period.
Lots of action, lots of action. Nobody warned for stalling. It's a key situation.
Red's going down, red down.
Red, the band, they're calling Iowa State red tonight, and they won the coin toss. Maldonado got his choice, and he chose down to begin this second period. Gets away for an escape, and he gets that point and makes it 3-1. 1 point for the escape. Maldonado from Iowa State goes up early in the second period against Zadic from Iowa, 3-1.
Center. We're out there.
Good shot on the edge by Zadic. Good shot on the edge.
Have any of that, okay?
Referees warning Zadic a little bit there for a little extracurricular activity on the edge. There's another shot. Zadic's in on a double underhook. Underhook. Another shot. Another reshot. Both guys doing a lot of action.
Here we go.
A lot of action in this match. I tell you, that's what it's all about.
Let's go, son.
You talked about the double underhook there, Dan. Is he fighting for that inside position to then drop down on a single leg? Is that the tactics?
Yeah, he was looking for a controlled tie-up situation to be able to shoot a head to outside shot, high crotch, double leg. And he's actually been able to get a few more shots in. Zadic's been able to get a few more shots in than Maldonado. Maldonado has been doing a good job on the edge of the mat.
Both of you, let's go.
We are in the
There's
second
another shot.
period.
Another shot. Another lift. There's a takedown by Zadic.
Ties up the score. 3-3.
He's got him in a dangerous position. He's got him in a dangerous position. He's got the over and under in. Maldonado's doing a great job of keeping him from going to his back. Zadic's staying right in there, and he's looking for the cradle. He's looking for a Turk, and he come out of it. No points there, no back points. Did a great job of coming off his side there because he was in a tight position. Another point, another escape, Maldonado.
Maldonado gets his second escape that puts him ahead 4-3. Here's the takedown.
Great job of in and lifting with the hips. And this time getting his head out, whereas last time he got a stalemate.
headed towards the end of the second period. Billy Maldonado from Iowa State leading Mike Zadic from the Iowa Hawkeyes 4-3.
This is a whale of a match to start this meet off. There's nobody leaving.
Green is down. Set.
We're beginning the third period of the first match of the night in the Iowa State-Iowa dual meet. Number 1 versus number 2. We're at 149 pounds. Billy Maldonado from Iowa State in the red versus Mike Zadic from Iowa. Just tying it up. Mike Zadic there in the Iowa black and gold ties it up. It is 4-4. They've each had a takedown. They've each had 2 escapes. It couldn't get any closer, Dan.
No, you know what's amazing? Both these athletes had brothers, older brothers that wrestled for the Cyclones and for the Hawkeyes not too long ago. There's an arm throw, but no points. 3 points for a freestyle move, but no points in collegiate.
You have to have control in collegiate wrestling, and we have had each wrestler has had their moments of control in this match. We're in the third period. You can see the score, 4-4, and it has been a close one.
Huge match to start this meet off. 4-4.
As Dan mentioned earlier, it's a key match.
Montana and Indiana, I believe.
Red, you're warned. Let's go, Red.
Iowa State's warned. Montana is Zadic. Shot by Maldonado from Indiana. Another shot by Zadic.
Of course, Dan talking about where they
There's
wrestled in high school.
He's in on it. And he's getting a takedown. Maldonado loses an arm drag takedown. Zadic comes through with a 2-point takedown, which puts him in the lead. Maldonado has to escape here, put himself in a position.
And he needs to do it fast. There's 15 seconds before Zadic would have riding time. And he does get away. It makes it
anybody's match.
We have 35 seconds left. The Iowa Hawkeye Mike Zadic leads 6-5 over Iowa State's Billy Maldonado.
Maldonado needs to set up that single leg that got him the first takedown. Zadic has been not when warned. 20 seconds.
Huge match.
He's in a shot. Takedown. No, takedown Zadic.
And Zadic's going to win the match here and put the Hawkeyes up to a quick lead. Give them 3 points.
Easy, both of y'all. 1, Red.
I don't know what the referee's talking about easy. You can't be easy. They're getting into it. It's a physical match.
Shake hands.
Hawkeyes draw first blood. 3-0 Iowa over Iowa State. And Mike Zadic, you're looking at him, gets a little revenge for his only loss this year.
He's going to have to learn to control himself a little bit there. He got a little shovey there. Maldonado looked like his legs got a little tired towards the end there. Couldn't move his legs as well as he was at the beginning. I'll tell you, it was an exciting match.
Here we are going into the second match of the big dual meet between Iowa State and Iowa here in Ames, Iowa. The first match ended with Iowa, Mike Zadic, winning over Billy Maldonado from Iowa State. It's 3-0, Iowa over Iowa State. Here comes Cale Sanderson for the Iowa State Cyclones at 157, and he will wrestle undefeated in an Iowa Hawkeye uniform, defending national champion TJ Williams.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing this match because they had 2 matches last year. One was a one-sided victory. The other one was very close. And that's the one that they had last wrestled. I felt that Sanderson was a little bit big for the weight at 149. I think he's up to a weight that he's more accustomed to.
And speaking of up, TJ Williams is up.
He's up as well. And there's Joe.
You know that guy.
I still know him, but his brother might not. Joe who, right? He's trying to make the Olympic team.
Right.
#1 man on the ladder right now to make the Olympic team in 2000.
He's a 3-time NCAA champion for my partner when Dan Gable, when he was coaching the Iowa Hawkeyes, and Joe Williams now wrestling for Dan Gable on the USA wrestling team, and he is a #1 ranked wrestler going into the Olympics, and he hopes to make it come the spring tryouts.
Not been a lot of action here. Both guys feeling each other out. Sanderson's doing a good job of staying on Williams' head. Bono's up and at him in the corner there. Chris Bono, another national champion from Iowa State.
Jim Zaleski we just saw. There's TJ Williams, 43-0 in an Iowa Hawkeye uniform. 40-0 last year in his first time after 1 year in junior college.
Good job by Sanderson. Coming out of the drag. Good job. Got his hips back.
There's Bobby Douglas in his 8th year here at Iowa State. He's got assistants, as you mentioned, Chris Bono there yelling encouragement, and Tom Ortiz. Tom coming from Arizona State with Bobby 8 years ago and being with him as his right-hand man. TJ Williams in the black, Iowa Hawkeye versus Cole Sanderson. If I said Cale, I'm sorry, it's Cole Sanderson. He's 6-1 this year.
You gotta wait on it, okay? That's your second
Wow,
caution.
2 cautions. One more and it's a point.
Here we go, ready.
I haven't seen too many of those called.
Especially in the standing position.
I think the Sanderson's anxious. You know, he's wrestling the national champion.
Well, he knows he's got to get a jump on him. I mean, you can't be asleep and wrestle the national champion.
Certainly can't, but he came out of a
Open
good
it up,
arm
guys,
drag
let's go.
leg attack earlier. He showed Williams that he's here for real. Williams missed a double leg there. He's controlling the mat. He's controlling the mat as far as position, making Williams look bad on the edge.
You know, you said it earlier, Dan, oh brother. You talked about Zadic and Maldonado having brothers. Well, there's Cale Sanderson and, of course, Cody Sanderson. Cale Sanderson, national champion, youngest of the 3 Sandersons. And then Cole, who we're looking at, is the middle. And then Cody, senior, who we'll see a little bit later. And then TJ Williams and Joe Williams. Hey, it's a brother act when it comes to Iowa State and Iowa, and it's pretty neat to see.
Well, it's been that way over the years.
I'd hate to see the houses they grew up in.
There's not much left of those. There's a shot by Williams, switching off into a double leg, and it looks like a takedown right there on the edge of the mat. Very good switch off.
Big takedown for TJ Williams to go ahead 2-0 over Cole Sanderson.
The difference between this one and the last drag to the leg tackle was he kept his hips underneath him, controlled Sanderson's hips to be able to get the 2-point takedown.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. You talked about a couple of good things that TJ just did. What's he do better than Joe, his brother?
Well, there's not really a lot that a lot of people can do better than Joe, but he does open up a little bit more in terms of the effort and the technique sometimes. If Joe gets some criticism, it's because he sometimes holds back a little bit.
Is TJ further along as we look at Bobby Douglas, the head coach at Iowa State? Would you say TJ's further along in his development at this time as a junior in college?
Well, I don't know if I can say that. I can probably say that you know, he's been one of those guys that's created more activity, and with that in mind, you know, it's probably one of those things that you have more of a chance to score a lot of points, and that's what it's all about. And Joe really needs to take a little bit of that lesson from his brother. Joe's a little more physical, I believe, than TJ.
We are at the end of the first period, the second match, the Iowa State-Iowa dual meet. TJ Williams from Iowa at 157 pounds, ahead of Cole Sanderson from Iowa State, 2-1. TJ chooses down to begin the second period. 2-1 Williams over Sanderson as we begin the second period at 157.
Great action. That is classic action from the bottom position. He hit a switch. He come right back in and he get a takedown. It was a great reshot. There was so much action there I couldn't keep up with the announcing. What he did was
he went right back in, didn't he?
He missed his first escape, but you know what? He went right back to another one. Same move. Did it 2 times in a row, and it worked because of that. And then he right into a flurry of action, which gave him a chance to get 3 points. And now he's doing a job of righting and controlling far wrist. He looks for far side cradles. He did cradle this guy, Sanderson, in the first time they wrestled. The second time, no.
You know, sometimes it seems like a dilemma in a big dual meet like this for the opponent of TJ Williams to come, well, if I go with him, it could be real ugly. And, you know, it's sometimes the faster you go, the worse it gets for you against somebody like Williams. Is that correct?
Well, as far as the coaches are concerned, they'd like to see people go against Williams, and it puts you in position to score.
Center. Let's go.
55 seconds left in the second period. The score is 5-2. TJ Williams from Iowa over Cole Sanderson from Iowa State.
This next 53 seconds is real critical as far as the scoring in this match, whether Sanderson gets back in it or Williams is looking for maybe a major.
Well, you say get back into it. Also, if he could just hold it at 5-2, it'd make a difference in that. But he's not going to be able to.
He hit him hard. He shot hard, Sanderson. Williams did a good job of hitting him with the hips.
Still is control.
Building up a little bit riding time right here. Building up some riding time, looking for a cradle, and I'm not sure what the coaches are going to want him to do. Release him at this late time.
Well, he tried to release him, but Cole Sanderson came back in, got his leg, and kept him from getting that, giving him an escape. And so it is 7-2. TJ Williams ahead of Cole Sanderson as we near the end of the second period at the 157-pound match of the Iowa State-Iowa match.
Red, let's go!
Red called for stalling. Sanderson called for stalling.
Easy.
I don't think he was
There's
stalling.
And there's Joe Williams, who you said needs to learn a couple of things from his brother.
Well, you can always learn.
Set.
There's the second period takedown.
Reshot. Sanderson did the shooting, but he put himself into position for Williams to counter with a reshot.
Yep. 1, red.
Escape that TJ Williams gives Cole Sanderson at the beginning of the third period here makes the score 7-3. TJ Williams from Iowa over Cole Sanderson from Iowa State, 7-3 as we begin the third period.
No. That just cost you one.
Oh boy.
I got one. Green.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, it was.
Well, it was, but I don't know if I'd have called it there because
I don't know how you can't call that, Dan. I mean,
well, I don't know. Did you see TJ on the edge? He went out a couple feet before he let go. So that's what Sanderson was talking about. But you're right. The major unsportsmanlike act was done by the Cyclone. It may have fired him up a little bit. Wow, what a counter. Unbelievable hips. Both athletes have great hips. Gave him 2.
Well, you mentioned that hips is the key for the outstanding wrestlers in the world.
Red, you're down. Easy now, both of you. You're down, Red.
And you make a good point about why Cole probably did it. You know, you never see what causes the person that gets caught's the last one. And I understand what you're saying.
It was 2 different actions though. One was pretty strong, and the other one was real simple. Now the Cyclones are mad.
The escape.
This is college wrestling though, and the new rules by the referees this year are try to eliminate potentially dangerous situations by saying don't call them. Just don't call them. And, you can't do that. You got to look out for the health of the athletes. But at the same time, you got to get a little physical in there. And I'm hoping that that's what they let do because we'll get more pins in there.
Well, Sanderson made a half-hearted shot right there.
They're going to come back, and they're going to... Hey, I agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't just pushing. He hit him in the wrong spot, the head.
Yeah, he did. And the TV will show it, It's almost like we better watch it that a fight doesn't break out right here. But it's 12-5.
No, let's go.
Well, we got 2 feisty benches. That's what I like. We got 2 feisty benches.
Well, we got a feisty crowd. This is great.
Yeah.
And what we have here is 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the third period. It's 12-5 in favor of TJ Williams from Iowa, defending national champion, over Cole Sanders from Iowa State at 157 pounds.
Nobody said this sport was like picking apples.
Iowa State should be down. There was 1 penalty point for Red. He is down. Here we go. You're down.
That's a very important point from a major situation. It just took.
Set it.
Here's the situation right here.
There's you put. The first one was okay, but the second one,
yeah,
a little bit. Actually, it's probably okay, but you got to be smarter than that. You just can't.
Well, it's the circumstances of what
There's
just
another
happened.
shot. He's right back in the major. It looks like. No, good job by.
Catching through.
Great job.
And he'll just hang on.
Great job by Sanderson. That's what you call young people that don't give up. He's got his knee right now. There's that no potentially dangerous situation where they might have broke it. He may end up scoring a takedown, keeping a major. Referee
certainly not as
called
talented.
Potentially dangerous. You're not supposed to call it.
There's Joe Williams rooting on his brother TJ Williams, and there is a difference in talent between these 2 wrestlers, but there's no difference in heart. Cole Sanderson giving it all the way to the end. He's got a lot of heart as he goes after the national champion, TJ Williams.
These are a big 30 seconds. Big 30 seconds for both teams. Bonus points or regular decisions.
And there is riding time for Iowa.
Stay out of the face.
So right now, if Iowa needs a takedown here. We're talking about TJ Williams ahead 12-6, trying to get a takedown to give him an 8-point lead and an extra point for the team.
The one thing about the Williams brothers, though, is that even there's 3 or 4 seconds left, they're still capable of exploding and getting the takedown. But there's a shot, and it could. He shouldn't have let go of the hands.
Nope,
should not have let go of the hands. It's there's a no points, no Tui. Wow! I think I protest that. That was a close call.
Boy, this, you know, you see the NFL and the replay. This is
They would
where
have
they
to
need it.
protest it. Yeah. But you can't do it here. That was a big call by the referee.
Bill Rotes, New Hampton, the referee in a tough situation. Always, any referee with Iowa State. The win by T.J. Williams, who you're looking at, 15-6 over Cole Sanderson. Here's the last point.
Sanderson was hanging on, trying to keep that leg. Didn't see when he called the points.
15-6, the final score. That means 4 points for Iowa, makes the score 7-0. The Iowa Hawkeyes over the Iowa State Cyclones after 2 matches of this big #1 versus #2 duel meet. And
Joe
now
Heskett.
we're at 165 pounds. Joe Heskett, freshman last year, who finished 3rd in the nation, 9-1 this year. Matt Anderson, 8-1 for the Hawkeyes.
Boy, he's after him. He is after him. Did a great single leg. Sweep, outside sweep single leg to a takedown. He's trying to get the Cyclones back right into this meet.
Hey, it's his job. He may only be a sophomore, but he's seasoned and he's responsible for that kind of leadership. He's got it.
Uh-oh. This is crazy. Look at this. That Heskett, something else. He comes flying around out of nowhere. No points, but I'll tell you, he turned the guy. I didn't think he had anything.
Iowa, turn around, look at me.
Here's Heskett.
Sweep single.
Set.
Cut in the corner, come around, looking for the far ankle, far knee. Comes right around, does a good job of cutting the corner and getting that takedown. Far wrist ride.
Can we get to Gibbons?
Watch that,
Heskett,
baby.
2-0 in the riding position right here, looking for, and the wrestling community knows he's famous for his cradles. He can put a person in a cradle and pin him.
Look at this.
And Dan, what's he trying to do right here?
Here what he's trying to do, he's got a leg in and he's trying to control the wrist and do some rolls and end up with a tilt. He wants to get a tilt, which would be back points. It's tough to pin somebody there, but you can definitely score some back points. Doing a great job of riding, getting that leg in.
Jim Zaleski, Tom Brands
Caution red.
from the Iowa team there.
Cover.
Matt Anderson, he's only had this black and gold single on from Shenandoah, Iowa. He's only been in this uniform a few weeks. He's done a pretty good job so far. I believe he has a 6-2 record. Now they're warning him. They're warning him. Heskett's a tough wrestler from all positions. There's an escape. I tell you, that's when you can wrestle Heskett and stay off your back. That's kind of a win for you right away. But the matches have started.
What do you think about what's been going on, Jim Gibbons?
Well, exciting matches here to this point. I mean, Zadic's match here, I mean, I had an opportunity to see him after the weigh-in. He pictured himself being the first guy out there today, and I think that's pretty important.
Well, I think you're right. Zadic going out, wanting to be the first one out there, probably had a lot to do with it right there. And I think that
deep shot.
It was a good start for the Hawkeyes. It has been a good start for the Hawkeyes, but Joe Heskett, ranked #2 in the nation at 165, is bringing the Iowa State Cyclones back. He's ahead 4-1 with a minute left in the first period, and he wants to do it big to get Cyclones back in the scoring column and get some momentum on the Cyclone side. Momentum's so important, isn't it, Dan?
Certainly is. It kind of helps the other team members decide just where their confidence level is. There's another single leg. He's been able to get that lead single leg. Done a good job. This is a real critical takedown for Iowa State right now. For looking for a major. All he has to do is come up off the mat with it, and that's what he's doing.
Joe Heskett looking
and he's
for,
close.
He's
and
looking
there's
for his third. He got his third takedown in the first period. 20 seconds left. The score is 6-2. Heskett from Iowa State over Anderson from Iowa.
Winding down the end of the first period, 6-2. Plus he's got a minute 40 riding time, which really adds up when you're in that position.
Easy.
Hey, Jim Gibbons, give us some more of your observation of what's happening.
Well, I think in order for Iowa State to get back into this meet, Heskett performance is critical, not just getting a decision, but trying to get extra points here. And he's been kind of a mouthpiece or a leader of this team all along here, even last year as a freshman. So his performance is pretty critical. Decision isn't quite enough.
Well, Jim, as a coach, you know the importance of a crowd, and this crowd is willing, and it's up to the wrestlers to bring them back in, right?
Great crowd.
We've got Dan Gable and Tim Johnson. We're in the second period of the 165-pound match between Iowa State and Iowa. Joe Heskett from Iowa State going in for a takedown, and he gets it over Matt Anderson from Iowa to make the score 8-3.
If he would have kept his head down about 2 more inches, Heskett would have looked for the cradle there. Uh-oh. Oh, boy, the referee's getting involved in this one. Anderson's getting controlled under there pretty well. You got to look and see what kind of control he has on him.
Well, Joe Heskett got the referee's attention from the get-go. As you mentioned, he really was getting after him in the whole bit, and he's got his attention. And it's a Cyclones match right here to get extra points. It's up to Joe Heskett here. He's up 9-3. The Iowa State wrestler is up 9-3 as Jim Zaleski looks on. Here's the takedown for Joe Heskett.
Sweep, single, and there he had his head down a little bit, or high crotch, and comes around for the takedown. I don't know how much this Anderson's really stalling. I think he's just trying
overpowered.
He's getting ridden a lot. He's getting ridden, and he's getting beaten on his feet. And the positions that he's getting called for stallings when the other athlete really has control of him. But, the crowd's into it. The referee wants to make things flow. And, sometimes in these dual meets, sometimes you just got to make some calls.
40 seconds left in the second period at 165 pounds. Iowa State Cyclone Joe Heskett ahead 9-4 over Matt Anderson from Iowa.
Wow. Missed shot there on the edge. He's got the long reach. He's trying to pull it in. Did a good job of throwing his hips back. Heskett was about 1 inch away from getting another takedown. He just missed the foot.
Right here.
There's Lincoln McElravy yelling for the Hawks. Volunteer coach. Silver medalist, bronze medalist in the world, 3-time national champion, 5-time high school state champion, Lincoln McElravy.
Offense with it.
We're coming down to the end of the second period. He's not going to get the takedown, though, and it's going to remain 9-4 at the end of the second period. A reminder that tonight at Intermission, we'll be bringing you a new videotape feature entitled Off the Mat. Today in our first installment, you'll meet the Sandersons, Cody, Cole, and Cale, ISU's terrific trio from Heber City, Utah. Also at halftime, Jim Gibbons will present another new feature entitled The Legends of College Wrestling. Today you'll meet Dr. Harold Nichols, the legendary coach who was so successful here at Iowa State.
He's got both legs in. I think
here we are in the third period of the 165-pound match. A minute 50 left. We're just getting going in the third period. Joe Heskett from Iowa State on the bottom, leading 9-4 over Matt Anderson from Iowa in the top position. I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons bringing you this action, Iowa State versus Iowa.
Well, he's close to a major. He's 6 on the scoreboard with riding time at 7. One more will be a major. Iowa's been called for stalling twice. Another penalty point would make the difference as well.
This is where Joe Heskett from Iowa State, he needs to pick it up. He needs to go. They need his extra points, don't you think, Dan?
Use it.
Oh, they definitely need it. Iowa's got a major win. They need to come back with a major win. They're in position. They got to take the opportunity. Heskett's kind of laying back, waiting for a counter. He did a good job on countering. He thinks maybe he can get that easy score.
Well, one thing Joe Heskett has the ability to do, and that is to put the guy on the back real fast.
Even though Anderson hasn't been on his back, he rolled through one time. It's a big minute, big minute. Anderson's doing a good job of keeping the referee off his back.
Especially after he's been called for stalling twice.
Heskett looks a little tired, but he's going to be able to realize how bad the team needs it. He's going to be looking for that. He's going to be looking. He's kind of going for broke here. He's kind of going for broke. And it's not a good thing to do right now, because if you're a little tired, you need to do good moves and not just go for broke type of holds.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, what are you waiting for, Joe? 29 seconds left.
Joe scored with 3 great shots. He needs to come through with another shot.
Wow.
He got stalled.
Wow.
He got a stalling call.
It's hard to understand here.
He's going to muster up one. He's going to muster up one. He needs to do it. He might be a little tired, but you know, there's a team out there. He needs to be thinking about that.
He had
There's
riding
a shot.
time too, and all he needs is a takedown.
All he needs is 1 point, and he's close. Close. I don't believe he's going to get it.
Wow.
Wow, the Hawkeye kept that major win off the board for the Cyclone.
Right here. Yeah. Joe Heskett wins 11-4 for Iowa State, putting them on the board with 3 points, making the score 7-3 Iowa over Iowa State. Look, 7-3 Iowa over Iowa State after 3 matches. College Wrestling 2000.
Hey, Heskett, he wrestled tough at the beginning, hard. He kind of wore himself out.
Yeah, I was going to say,
bit.
did he spend himself?
Well, you can't really. You got to do that. You kind of, at this time of the year, you got to find out where you're at.
Well, here we go into 174. Gabe McMahon from Iowa, who you're looking at right there, a 6-2 wrestler versus, is it Hooter? It's Zeman, Chad Zeman.
Wow, that was a quick two.
That was a quick two.
Yeah, I think you better wave it off.
I think maybe he did. I don't know what that means right there.
Yeah, there's the two.
Yes. 2-0 takedown for Gabe McMahon from Iowa. Makes the score 2-0.
One, red.
At 174, what we have right here in the black, the Iowa Hawkeye Gabe McMahon versus Chad Zeman from Iowa State.
It's a good shot by Zeman. Wizard by McMahon. Iowa State's been doing a good job of sweep singling. McMahon's got his ankle out though. That's real key in a counter, and he's got it back under again. Good job by Zeman. He needs to pick it up off the mat. He shouldn't have went back out front. That was a major mistake.
Good hip action by McMahon there. McMahon 6-2, Zeman 2-6. Zeman, a win here for the Cyclone could be big. There's the Cyclone right there.
Another good sweep single. Doing a good job. Front headlock McMahon looking for a takedown. There, and I believe he got it. They gave it.
They gave it
quick again.
Yeah, he's quick, but he got it. Yeah. Score is 4-1 in favor of McMahon from Iowa over Zeman from Iowa State.
McMahon by way of Alaska.
Yeah, how'd you get him down here, Dan?
Coach Zaleski, Lenny Zaleski was his high school coach, who now is over at Indiana.
We're talking, of course, about
a switch and a skate point.
Talking about Jim Zaleski's older brother, who was an All-American for Dan Gable at Iowa. That's Jim Zaleski, third year as the head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, and 2 national championships in his first 2 years. As you see the clock there in the background, a minute left in the first period, and the score is 4-2. Gabe McMahon from Iowa over Chad Zeman.
Another shot, another high rod shot, another re-switch. Boy, he gives him quick there, but he ends up getting him, so. Big takedown. 40 seconds riding time, McMahon. 33 seconds. Zeman's doing a good job of getting that switch to a hip heist for an escape, but that time was on the edge of the mat.
Score is 6-2, 32 seconds left in the first period, and in favor of McMahon from Iowa over Zeman from Iowa State. Fourth match of the night, it's 2-1. Iowa winning the first 2. Big wins from Mike Zadic and TJ Williams. Joe Heskett from Iowa State winning the last match, 165, putting Iowa State on the board. Now McMahon coming back from Iowa and ahead, 6-2 at 174 pounds.
McMahon did a good job of riding by picking him up off the mat, taking him back to the mat. An area that a lot of young kids need to work on.
Big crowd tonight, great crowd for wrestling. And our debut, season debut for College Wrestling 2000, 24th year for college wrestling. I'm Tim Johnson with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons, and we're at 174 pounds in the second period. Gabe McMahon in the black there, the Iowa Hawkeye, ahead 7-2 over Chad Zeman from Iowa State.
Hey, it's good to see this big crowd because we need wrestling fans, and we need the fans that are going to make sure that we stop this college wrestling from going any further in terms of elimination. And so we need all the good fans, we need them speaking up, and we need them supporting us. So, and I'm glad to see a good crowd here at Hilton. Another takedown, little front headlock knee tap by McMahon.
As we look at the coaches there, there's an escape given by McMahon to Zeman, makes the score 9-3. But you'll see the white ribbons on the coaches there, in case you're wondering why those white ribbons are. The coaches of Iowa are wearing the ribbons, as well as the t-shirts that Iowa wrestlers are wearing, are their way of heightening the awareness. Dan was talking about it right now, the awareness of the public about an issue that is dramatically affecting the sport. College wrestling programs throughout the United States, Dan, they're dropping. I mean, you know, they're being eliminated at a dramatic rate because of gender quota, known as proportionality.
Well, you know, it's Title IX it's a good law, but an interpretation a few years ago here in the early 90s has caused it to make programs drop men's sports, and that's not the intention. And you know, we need to kind of review that a little bit. We want to make it good for all, and if we don't make it good for all, we're going to be right back where we started from.
Well, those coaches and wrestlers just want wrestling fans to know about this issue and to do something about it, and that's what the white ribbons are about. Here we are in the second period, 49 seconds left. The Iowa Hawkeye, Gabe McMahon, leading 11-4. He just gave Chad Zeman another escape so that he could get a takedown. Now it's 13-4, and he's looking at major and maybe even more.
Well, this match was a clear-cut favorite for the Hawkeyes, and so
he's taking advantage of it.
A regular decision would be a pretty good situation for the Cyclones here, but he's already got a major right there, and he keeps coming on with takedowns, and that's another period left.
15-5, McMahon way ahead of Zeman, and we have 10 seconds left in the second period, heading into the third period of this fourth match of the evening, 174 pounds.
You know, I do believe Iowa State has a couple of athletes that are still in contention for this weight second semester, so, you know, it could beef up their lineup a little bit.
You just saw the view of head coach Bobby Douglas, Iowa State Cyclones in his 8th year. Tremendous program, tremendous coach. Arizona State and then Iowa State. That's the end of the second period. We're heading into the third period now. There's Bobby Douglas, Cyclone head coach, cheering on his wrestler Chad Zeman, who is just outmatched here by Gabe McMahon from Iowa, who leads 15-6 as we start the third period at 174 pounds. Short offense there by Gabe McMahon working the night.
That was a front headlock, head bounce. I'll tell you, he did a good job of bouncing the head, creating the opportunity to get the go behind. A lot of times young people try to go behind without doing anything out front, and they get caught, fall off the side. The guy brings an arm up, he knocked the head down, created a bunch of weight on the shoulder, and smoothly just went right around.
Iowa State coaches looking on, just wanting to get through this and into a streak there where at 184, 197 heavyweight, they're favored, or at least toss-ups there.
I don't believe there's any back points in this match, so a tech fall wouldn't be any better than a regular decision unless he gets some back points, even though he won by 15. So, you know, if he doesn't get him on his back, you might as well quit letting him up and taking him down.
If you win by 8 or more, you have a major decision. That means you score an extra point for that for your team, 4 points. If you win by 15 and you have back points involved in those points, that's 5 points for the team. But there are no back points, so he cannot get that 5th point, as Dan pointed out, unless he gets Zeman on his back, and he's got 40 seconds to do it.
There's a penalty point. There's a close hip tilt. Possible hip tilt. Nope. Good job of coming off.
McMahon knows the situation.
Yep, he needs to turn him, and this is the position right here where he could possibly do it. Only 25 seconds to go. Might as well get the back points from writing here. Another point. Wow. Wouldn't make any difference unless you disqualified him. It'd have to be 2 more calls. He's got a leg Turk in. It's a big, that's a big move.
Whoa.
But there's only a few seconds to go. I don't believe he's going to get him over. Even though it's hard to see, I don't believe he's going to get him over.
Nope, and both
It's
wrestlers
close,
knew
though.
the situation
Wow.
right there. 22-7 with riding time. 4 points for Iowa because of the big victory by Gabe McMahon. Gabe McMahon from Iowa beating Chad Zeman from Iowa State. Gives Iowa 4 more points, and the score now is 11-3.
And that was a tech fall.
And that was a tech fall.
But not worth 5.
Not worth 5, yes.
See where that point comes in on the end here. Here he comes.
Here he is, Cale Sanderson in the red, Iowa State's defending national
Woo!
champion.
Doesn't take him long to shoot.
Going against Paul Jenn
Doesn't take
from
him long
Iowa.
to shoot. And he's got a takedown. I was just out in Utah last week trying to work on that Brigham Young program. These young Sanderson boys were about 30 miles away from Brigham Young.
And their parents, of course, here tonight, as they are in most meets. Here's the takedown, Dan.
Shoots a low single, comes up, switches off, cuts the corner, and drives, getting it, and clears his head for 2 points.
Looking for the back points right here. Slipping up, though. Slipping up to the top, and you'll have to start over. It's 2-0 in favor of Cale Sanderson from Iowa State.
He's come right out and take control. Skate. Sanderson moves well. Moves well. There's another takedown. Wow. His head and his heel were planted, and he took advantage of it. Didn't even have to move.
These guys have wrestled before a few times, and the first time they wrestled, Paul Jenn from Iowa beat Cale Sanderson in Cale Sanderson's redshirt year. But last year, as a redshirt freshman, Cale Sanderson didn't lose to anyone as he won the NCAA championship.
Yeah, he took Jenn pretty good last year, I believe. Couple matches. Here he looks like he's going to get some back points. Close, close, not quite. Too much on top. You have to get him a little bit off to your hip there. Referee's looking to see what Jenn's doing. He's trying to decide whether he wants to call him, roll him through. Boy, that Sanderson's looking for the back points. I believe he's going to get called if he's just hanging out down there. There, he's coming up again a little bit, but now I think they're going to call him. Crowd's getting a little upset. Hey, there it is.
Now, and that brings the crowd back into it, and that's what Iowa State needs. They need the crowd to get back into it. Cale Sanderson's a man that can do it. He's up 4-1 in the first period with 1:10 left, trying to score some more points.
One count, one count, one count, twice. Sanderson doing a great job of controlling with a leg in, near wrist, looking for back points. Really can't move there. It's pretty tough to call him stalling there. Got to be able to build the base. There he builds his base. And he went back down. I think, that did not look good on the edge. Now Cale's looking like guy's not wanting to wrestle. Doing a good job of making him look bad. That's what it's all about.
Here's the takedown, Dan.
Head and ankle. Planted. Rolls him through, looking for the near fall, has the wrist, looks for the tilt, but doesn't. He gets 2-1 counts. What happened there?
Another roll through.
Wow. I guess he got 2 back points. I missed it. Jenn was in a position to get a reversal and then coupled back up and went underneath. I tell you, this is
now
going to be.
scoring.
There he's scoring back points.
Well, he's got it tight,
He
too.
controls that far wrist so well.
Cale Sanderson, Heber, Utah versus Paul Jenn from Iowa and a native Iowan from Britt, Iowa. Going up against this Utah native who the whole family's migrated to Ames. Sanderson brothers. Cale Sanderson finished the first period 9-1.
Didn't even hear the, hey, the crowd's getting into it.
A reminder that tonight at Intermission we'll be bringing you a new videotape feature entitled Off the Mat. Today in our first installment you'll meet the Sandersons, Cody, Cole, and Cale, ISU's terrific trio from Heber City, Utah. Also at halftime, Jim Gibbons will present another new feature entitled The Legends of College Wrestling. Today you'll meet Dr. Harold Nichols, the legendary coach who was so successful here at Iowa State.
Unbelievable situation.
The situation,
okay. Yeah, he put himself in danger for most people, but not for him. He knew exactly what he was doing on that particular situation, that roll. Well, and Jenn rolled with it, which
it's 11-1. A minute and a half
back
left
into
in the
again.
second.
This could be a disqualification the way things are looking.
12-1. Almost halfway through the second period at 184. Cale Sanders from Iowa State in the red on top, as you see here, over Paul Jenn from Iowa. And the Iowa State Cyclone is pounding the Hawkeye 12-1.
Now be careful there a little bit. That pounding stuff. Being both, though. I remember when I had that red and gold on. Tried to pound him in.
Well, you know, speaking of pounding right there, Sanderson, he's confident he can do anything, isn't he? I mean, he's that kind of wrestler.
Oh, he's throwing caution at the wind out there. That is a two-pointer. Next one would be a disqualification. And this guy, the way he's calling, he's not going to be afraid to call it.
Oh, I'd say
he wants a pin or a disqualification.
It's imminent.
They're both worth the same.
I mean, I'll tell you what, there's no tired about Cale Sanderson. I mean, there's no tired about it.
I think the referee's going to blow it. That's it. He stopped it. Stopped the match. Yeah, stopped the match. Hey, that's shades of old school there.
Whoa.
He don't... Is that referee called Spike Israel?
That's the disqualification that we just saw there. And that's Cale Sanderson winning by disqualification over Paul Jenn from Iowa, giving Iowa State 6 big points. We're at halftime. It's 11-9 Iowa over Iowa State. And now we have our special feature, Off the Mat.
In the midst of countless Iowa State fans, senior All-American Cody Sanderson has his own cheering section.
Let's go, Cody. Let's go, son. Get after it.
His new wife, Sarah, his younger brother, Cole, and another younger brother, Cale. Cody, described by Coach Bobby Douglas as the alpha wolf of the Sanderson pack, is the oldest brother in a unique family from Heber City, Utah. Their father, Steve, was their coach, and their mother, Debbie, provided the intensity and motivation to excel. In high school, the trio combined to win 11 Utah individual titles and were all rated as the top recruits at their respective weights.
My dad was a high school coach at the high school in the community we lived in, and he ran just a youth program. It was called Little Viking Wrestling, and regardless of whether or not you won or lost, you got a lollipop at the end of your match, and that's kind of where I got started, and that's all I did for a few years. I probably started maybe a year before my brothers. But I remember those two, the first year they started wrestling, they were successful. I remember Cale and Cole winning the youth state tournament, and I was still like 3rd or 4th place. So that was kind of a motivation for me. It was kind of hard to sit there being older than them and watch them win and me not win. So I remember that too.
It's fueled by their environment that they came out of, their religion, their family orientation, the way they've been raised as kids in the community. So all these things, you can sense that, and there's a certain type of security about those guys that's unique. A lot of guys would like to have that.
Cody, Cole, and Cale are all highly motivated. Last year, the three earned academic All-American status, while Cody and Cale became All-Americans on the mat. And Cale became the first ISU freshman to win a national title and the first wrestler in history to be named the outstanding wrestler as a freshman. And the boys from Utah are best friends.
I don't think Cale's going to be able to finish that big pancake, but I'm already almost done.
I'll finish my pancake. Both of these guys are huge examples, and I mean, they're my heroes. I want to be like them, just often on the mat, how they work in the room, and just how they live their lives.
Cody is the heart of a worker as you'll ever find. He always makes sure that he does everything that needs to be done to get whatever goal he wants. He's always takes responsibility in anything he does. And Cale, he's hilarious. He's always making me laugh. He's just funny, and he's always joking, and he has a lot of confidence in himself and in his wrestling and in all the stuff he does, and he's very talented, and he gives me confidence because I see how he handles like being so successful.
Cody is studying psychology and hopes to be accepted into med school. Cole is majoring in dietetics, and he likes to cook.
I'm going to bake a chocolate cake, and I just love to cook, and probably because my mom's such a good cook, I guess I love to eat, and so if I want to eat good food like she makes, I got to learn how to make it.
Cale is in visual studies, art and design, and he has a penchant to draw.
This is just a portrait I did of Coach Douglas. I just did it from a little photograph. He has some pretty cool looking poses when he's on the side of the mat.
Cody Sanderson is probably, of all the wrestlers that I've coached, he shows the type of compassion that only a physician would have, and he's going to be a doctor. Cole is a very, very focused individual who, once he sets his sights on a target, it won't escape him. Cale has got a type of energy field around him that elevates people to be excited about wrestling. He has he's a character, really. He oftentimes will get real close to getting on my nerves, and he likes to do that, and I know he likes to do it. He has the type of ability that only comes around once in a while. He's not near what he's going to be when he starts to get physically strong. He's still a baby. He's scary.
Never had to look for a partner. I always just grab one of these guys. Kind of gave you a motivation to have two other people that had the same goals as you did and that really loved to wrestle too.
I hated wrestling. My dad made me wrestle. I wanted to play basketball.
He's lying. He was terrible at basketball. Don't listen to him. Wrestling's about all he could do.
We hope you enjoyed that Off the Mat feature. I know I did, and Tony Davis, you and I, TJ Williams, Doug Schwab, and Joe Heskett, they'll all be featured on Off the Mat later in the season. This season, Iowa Public Television will be celebrating wrestling's events and legends of the 20th century. Here's Jim Gibbons to tell us more.
After every telecast with public television this season, a legendary feature of Iowa wrestling will be right now, let's meet a very special man who created the tradition of wrestling at Iowa State, Harold Nichols. After wartime service as an Air Force pilot, Nick, as he was known to his wrestlers, spent 6 years as a successful coach of wrestling and track at Arkansas State University. But it was at Iowa State University starting in 1953 that he truly launched the fabulous coaching career that produced 6 national championship teams, 11 runners-up, 38 individual titleists, and a staggering total of 493 dual meet victories. His teams won 4 national trophies during a 5-year span starting in 1969. 4 times, Dr. Nichols was honored with the National Coach of the Year award, 3 of them from his colleagues in the National Wrestling Coaches Association. In 1966, he was elected Wrestling's Man of the Year.
More about the legends of college wrestling, you can check out our webpage at www.collegewrestling.iptv.org. Each week, Iowa Public Television will have a new legend. Plus, you can always get the latest results, schedules, and rankings on our website. Remember, that's www.collegewrestling.iptv.org. Check us out. And we can do a lot of things on that website.
I guess I'm supposed to answer a few questions if they want to write it in and ask me, because I know a little bit about this sport. At least I'm trying to learn.
And it was fun last year, and that's Ask Dan Gable, and you see the way to do that, and Dan will answer your questions. And it's a good way for parents, if you want to know more about what's going on for your son, that'd be a great way to talk to you.
Well, right here in Iowa this year, there's some new weight loss procedures. I think they weigh in close to the match time right now, and that's a new situation for us. And I know how to handle that, but I don't know if everybody does. So it's very important to get that information out there.
And information, we've got a lot of information on the website. We've got match of the week, and we have polls and all those kind of things. But we've got a big schedule this year, and Iowa Public Television is really excited about the schedule of college wrestling. Ohio State, UNI on Sunday. Live, Oklahoma versus Iowa, Iowa State versus Boise State, Iowa State versus Oregon State, then Penn State at Iowa, Oklahoma State at Iowa. That's always a good one. Nebraska at Iowa State, and the Iowa Conference Championships. It's a big year for college wrestling 2000.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great one. We're at Ames, Iowa, Hilton Coliseum for the big #1 versus #2 Iowa State Cyclones, #1 versus Iowa Hawkeyes #2, and the score right now is 11-9 after 5 matches in favor of Iowa over Iowa State. Now we're at 197, where #2 ranked Zach Thompson, in the red for Iowa State, is going against Lee Weber, a senior from Iowa.
Lee Weber, I don't know if he's been in these big Iowa State matches. Tried to hit a fireman's carry. Thompson did a good job. Thompson's low to the ground, and Weber's kind of high to the ground. So it's kind of opposite style of wrestlers here as far as their builds.
Lee Weber, a senior from Gilbertville, Don Bosco, and brother Darrell, national champion for Iowa, another brother act.
Still wrestling for the Hawkeye Wrestling Club. He's in a tough weight, but all the weights are tough when you start getting in there to try to make the Olympic team.
And then Zach Thompson, a junior from Cleveland, Ohio, that famous St. Ed's program, St. Edward's High School in Cleveland, Ohio, a junior and ranked #2 in the nation, a returning All-American for the Cyclones.
Well, this is one the Cyclones are favored. Controlling the mat well by Thompson. Made Weber look a little bit bad there.
Bobby Douglas, head coach for the Iowa State Cyclones in his 8th year here in Ames after a long and very successful career as the head coach at Arizona State, where he won an NCAA wrestling championship coaching the Sun Devils.
It's kind of interesting there that the referee actually got on Thompson for like controlling the edge and not letting him back in, and when in reality an athlete that gets his opponent to the edge always likes to make him look like they can't get back to the center. Weber's on the edge, looking bad at the edge there. He's got to circle back in. Thompson's doing a good job of keeping Weber's back to the edge, and the referee will be watching that closely.
And the referee you're talking about is Bill Rotes from New Hampton, Iowa, a regular on college wrestling telecasts.
He's been around a long time. I think I know a guy named Mitch Kelly that stepped in and helped me actually for Greg Randall when he was injured. And I think Bill and him, they might want to have words off the mat just about whether there was a call there or not. Have a call.
He's hit a lot of stalling calls tonight, a lot of stalling warnings, and like you said, he's been quick on it, but he's been consistent.
I think he's about ready to do it again. He's looking. He's looking.
So, as you point out, Zach Thompson's doing the right things there. The Iowa State Cyclone getting the attention of the referee, focused on Weber, and Weber just hit with a stall warning by referee Bill Rhodes. The next one will cost the Hawkeye a point.
Well, you got to realize these are dual meets. You aren't going to get the same calls at the national tournament or the conference, but that's just kind of the flavor of it to keep things going, because they just don't call very much stalling at the national tournament. And when they do, it's kind of a surprise. You just don't know when they're hitting it.
Well, why is that, Dan?
Because it's the national tournament, and they want it you decided by wrestling, not so much referee's position call or that type of thing. And even though this is a big event, referees get more active and do make more calls.
We're almost to the end of the first period at 197 pounds. Zach Thompson and Lee Weber, a 0-0 match.
Wow, that's not the way Iowa State wanted it to happen that first period, but I think the history shows Thompson kind of comes on as the match produces deep into it.
Lee Weber has chosen bottom, and he has been warned. Lee Weber, the Hawkeye in black there, choosing bottom to begin the second period. The score is tied 0-0, and the Hawkeye does have a stall warning. It's a caution on this.
Set, I'm coming behind you.
With a Cyclone, I think.
What do you think? We got about 12,000 here?
It'll be interesting to see the numbers. It's just a bigger crowd than many, many years here at Iowa State, and it's very exciting for the sport of wrestling, as is this Cyclone #1 ranked team and #2 ranked Hawkeyes.
Weber's really doing some bopping there. Looks a little bit like the Muhammad Ali shuffle there. Just got to do something off it. Got to go.
Well, you know, Muhammad was right when he said, "I am the greatest," didn't he? He was.
He picked USA Today.
Yeah, there was a lot of everybody choosing him as the greatest athlete of all time.
I don't mind just saying it as long as you backed it up, and he backed it up.
He got the last laugh there. That's what I thought when I saw his picture in USA Today. Right now, Zach Thompson would like to get the last laugh for Iowa State and get Iowa State actually going ahead of Iowa for the first time tonight. But it is 1-0 right now in favor of the Hawkeye, Lee Weber, in the second period with just over a minute left. I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons, bringing you #1 ranked Iowa State versus #2 ranked Iowa, and there is a takedown attempt by Lee Weber.
Yeah, he's holding the leg though. He's got to pick it up higher. He had a good opportunity right at the beginning, but the longer he holds it, the worse it's going to be. He needs to come around and low. He needs to drag him back to the center first. He needs to go back all the way to the center, all the way. And obviously,
nice
kick out by Thompson.
Nice job by Zach Thompson.
What was that about?
Went into the eyes. Here we go.
Something about eyes. He must have poked in the eyes or something.
Who got the point?
Lee Weber from Iowa got a point, a technical violation. It's 2-0 now. Could be a big point. Zach Thompson needs to keep the pressure on the Iowa State wrestler here to get himself in the scoring column before the third period.
I wasn't watching it. That was a big point there. Now, he has been warned, and Rose will not be afraid to make that call.
I think what he's doing is Rhodes is looking at Zach Thompson for putting his fingers into the eyes of Lee Weber, and he caught him doing it, and he penalized him. End of the second period.
Big match.
Here's what caused it. Here's the eye. Well,
that was it?
I don't know. And if it was,
I don't think that was it. If they called that it, I think it might not have been it.
I think it was when they went off the mat.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
A little later, because he didn't blow the whistle then. He blew it 30 seconds later, 10 seconds later.
2-1 escape. Zach Thompson for Iowa State. Now he has to score. It's a big match for Iowa State. They need to win this one. They're favored. They've got the second-ranked wrestler in the nation in Zach Thompson in the red. Cyclone is behind 2-1. Lee Weber holding on to what would be a big upset.
Another single. Needs to pick the ankle up and go to the far ankle. Needs to, before he turns. Now he did the same thing. I just don't understand the technical finish there. He goes out of bounds though. Not doing a very good job of coming across, but Thompson's using what I call a limp leg out there to stifle Weber.
Scores 2-1 with just over a minute left in favor of the Hawkeye Lee Weber over the Cyclone Zach Thompson. We're in the third period, and Zach Thompson, number 2 ranked wrestler at 197. There's Darryl Weber,
national champion,
assistant
95.
coach now. Weber has to watch out for stalling, but Thompson needs to really get after him right now and cause that referee to call it and at least get it to a point where the match is tied.
Thompson needs to do 2 things in a row. There's one. He needs to do another one right in a row.
He needs to get after him.
Because Weber's controlling the tempo there. A stalling call right now would not be justified. He needs to do 2 things in a row. The big 30 seconds for both teams. There's a shot. And
he's tight in on it. He could sit there.
If he picks it up and comes up on the right side, he'd be okay. But if he stays there, it's going to be a stalemate. The referee is looking, and if he lets the leg come facing, he's got to keep working there. They could call him for stalling if he doesn't go for the finish. He has to look like he's going for the finish.
He's doing enough.
Yes.
He's doing enough.
4 seconds. It looks like a huge upset. 4 seconds. I'll tell you what, though, if he backs up, referee better get on it.
Yeah, but Thompson has to do something to make him back up. There.
Wow.
Big match, big win for the Iowa Hawkeye. Lee Weber, unranked, beating the second-ranked Zach Thompson 2-1, giving 3 more points to the Hawkeyes, making the score 14-9, Iowa over Iowa State. Here we are at heavyweight, one that a lot of people drove a lot of miles to see. They've wrestled each other several times and they've split. Hand from Iowa versus Heik from Iowa State. It's a good one, Dan.
Definitely is. They go back to high school. South Tama and Prairie. I'd like to see that last match, the point where he actually had the call. It's a shot by Heik. He's in deep. He's looking for the left. He switches off to a single leg. Big situation here. Nice move. Nice move by Heik. I think that really shocked Hand.
Oh, well, Heik means business. You can tell.
Hey, he's the national runner-up. Looks to me like controlling him well.
Trent Heik ahead, 2-0 over Wes Hand from Iowa. Jim Gibbons, you have someone with you.
Iowa, you're down. I've got Lee Weber here with me, the big upset winner of the match here. Lee, what were you thinking in that third period here with the lead?
I didn't want to stand around, you know. That's how a lot of guys get beat. If they're ahead, they just try to hold on, and then it allows that other guy to get his stuff going. And I just wanted to get in on him. Should have finished, but it's a start.
It was a big win for you and your program.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Jim. And it was a start for Lee Weber, and it was a jump start for Iowa going into this heavyweight match, which is being very much controlled by Trent Heik. Trent Heik, the heavyweight from Iowa State, in the red on top of Wes Hand, the heavyweight for the Hawkeyes. The score is 2-0, minute and a half left in the first period. I'm Tim Johnson, along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons, who you just heard from with that interview with the upset winner, Lee Weber, from the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Heik's doing a great job coming out, shooting an offensive move for a heavyweight match, getting the takedown, putting the pressure on, building riding time, in controlling this match. Hand's actually been warned for stall on the bottom. He's up to his feet.
Hand not being able to break hands quite soon enough, and Trent Henik, Cedar Rapids Prairie, as Dan mentioned, taking the South Tama native back to the center of the mat, ahead 2-0. 2 Iowa natives going at it. They've gone at it several times before in high school, in college, and here they are tonight in the big number 1 versus number 2 dual meet. Trent Henik, of course, 2 years ago was second in the nation. He redshirted last year. And Wes Hand, an All-American. Both highly ranked heavyweights going at it.
Wow. Got to get those headgears adjusted before you get out there in a match. Very important.
12,300 here tonight. You're pretty good at looking over the crowd, Dan. 12,300. That's great for wrestling.
You're down. Here we go. Set it.
1 minute and 3 seconds. 2-0 score. Hand's been warned. Writing time 1:31. Henik. There's an escape.
Center it in. Let him in now.
The escape for Wes Hand makes the score 2-1. The Iowa State Cyclone.
Another shot on the
Whoa.
edge. Good
Whoa.
shot by Henik.
Yeah,
and another takedown.
Big.
Wow.
That was huge.
Edge of the mat.
You know, I don't think Henik has a doubt that he's going to win this. Now, you know, I'm just telling you what he's thinking. And he's in on that leg and
simply picks it up and goes to the far knee. Picks it up high, goes to the ankle actually, and sets him down. Match is complete right there because you're out of bounds, but you get the 2 points. That's the rule.
I'd be interested. How often did you as a coach talk about edge points, Dan? That's
all
what
the
Henik
time.
just
All
did.
the time. Actually, Hand didn't even react on the edge. He shot for a low single, and he thought he was out of bounds, which he was, but it doesn't matter. You both have to be out of bounds. You have to react on the edge like you do in the middle.
Set. Cover him.
One thing I noticed about your team all the time was it was edge points and scoring with 2 or 3 seconds left in a period. And that's what Trent Henik is doing right here. He's controlling and he's also taking advantage right on the edge of the mat. Scoring a big takedown. It's 4-1. Henik from Iowa State over Wes Hand from Iowa.
He could
with 15 seconds left in the first period.
Referee's looking him over again. Referee's looking him over. There's another big point for Henik.
That's a point. He had warned earlier. Now he's called for stalling. That makes it 2.
And there, close to back points. He's doing the job, Trent Henik.
We're beginning the second period of the heavyweight match, and Wes Hand chose to stay up. Trent Henik had the choice. He deferred to Wes Hand. Wes Hand said, I'm not going underneath anymore. I'm going to stay up. It's 5-1 in favor of the Cyclone in red. Trent Henik over Wes Hand.
Hey, I'll tell you, being in the national finals gives you a little bit of confidence, and the fact that he's got riding time. This was a key match. This is a key match in a victory. And it doesn't look like it by the scoreboard right now. It's a dominated side match right here.
Well, Trent Henik's getting the Cyclones back into it, wouldn't you say, Jim Gibbons?
Way out here.
What impresses me about this, TJ and Dan, is that Henik went through a redshirt year. That's tough to come back. Sometimes you got a little slag or it's early season. I really didn't know what to expect in this match, but he's really
Another
aggressive.
shot. You know, he's picked up some good offense. He hasn't been as offensive-minded in the past. He's really doing a great job. No points, but they're going to end up no points. Unbelievable. He had great opportunities. Hand did not stop on the edge like he did last time. Had he stopped, he would have lost the takedown.
Well, I think Henik, I was always impressed with Hand's physique. I think Henik has picked up some weight and looks good too now, and I think that's what he accomplished off the off-season, Jim.
Yeah, he really did. What's also impressed me about this is that, you know, Hand had a whole year of competition, and just coming back here, he's just a lot more offensive, and
Heik
you know,
is a lot more.
Heik was the number 11 seed going to the national tournament, so to finish second, that was really a surprise that year. Now he's coming back and proving he deserved that type of ranking.
Well, he's doing it in front of 12,300 partisan fans, and I say partisan, they're partisan for Iowa State and Iowa.
Another shot, another point. Stall call.
Let's go, son.
Bill Rote's a referee all over Wes Hand, saying you got to wrestle, son. It's 6-1, and 2 of those points are stalling points. It's the second period, 20 seconds left. Trent Henik ahead. That is 3 warnings now, a warning and 2 calls, which means 2 extra points for the Cyclone.
You got to be thinking about a major. Very close to a major already, 1 point away from a major.
Well, and that would be a big extra point for the Cyclones. They need all the extra points they can get right now.
Set us down. He's going to go optional.
He's going to let him go.
Wes Hand starts the second period over Trent Henik, but
I don't
starts with
understand
an
that.
optional and lets him go. The score is 7-1 in favor of the Cyclone. Trent Henik over Wes Hand from Iowa as we start the third period. I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons. Dan, you know, is disqualification a possibility here with 1:40 left?
It doesn't look like it, but I don't understand the intention, you know, what you're doing. You're letting him go if you're not going to try to take him down. I mean, you know, if you're going to get called for stalling here, there he's getting a little more aggressive, but Heaney's going to sneak in another shot here because he's been shooting all day.
There he does. On the edge of the mat,
A lot
Wes
of time
Hand
clicking down.
Riding time is Iowa State's, and so the score really is 8-1, and so they just need one more point.
Stall.
And a stall point is 2 this time, right? And so if stall a takedown, is it? So we've had 2 1 points, right?
Okay.
So the next stall point is 2 points against Hand. But right now he's kind of got that part neutralized. Whoa, yeah, I was just getting ready to say he's kind of turned the tide on that one by keeping Henik on the outside.
He's being aggressive, but you know, it's like you need I don't know how you don't have any moves that score that many points.
Well,
unless you get a fall.
And this is where the Cyclones need to score this extra point right here. "15 seconds left in the third period. The score is 7-1 in favor of Trent Henik over Wes Hand. Henik trying to score one more time to give his team an extra point.
He's looking. He's got to be thinking about it. There it is. Missed it. And he's doing a good job of circling. Doing a good job of circling. This is a big win. I don't think he's probably ever had a major win like this. It's not a major, but it's a big win.
Yeah, it's a big win. Trent Henik wins for the Iowa State Cyclones in a very, very convincing way. 7-1 over Wes Hand, making the score, or 8-1 with riding time, making the score team-wise Iowa 14, Iowa State 12.
Well, they're split right now in the keys. That was a key match. Iowa State dominated it, and you know that.
Jim Gibbons, you have someone.
Yeah. I got Trent Henik here with me. He wants to get a glass of water, and I can't blame him. It was a great performance here. Trent, big match for you there, coming back and getting a 7-1 decision. A lot of those matches are a lot tighter than that. This is the first time you've been able to break it open.
Yeah, it felt good. I just figured the last time at home against Iowa, I'd pick it up a little bit.
Well, great job.
Thanks.
That was a great job for Trent Henik, and he picked it up a little bit. Here we are, 125 pounds, the lightweights, and we've got Strittmatter from Iowa versus Azevedo from Iowa State. A couple of young transfers here, juniors, Jody Strittmatter from Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh Johnstown, won a Division II title twice and transferred to Iowa and wants to win the big one, Division I, and he's in the lineup tonight against another transfer from Arizona State, Matt Azevedo, who has a big name in wrestling. His uncle John Azevedo was a very, very accomplished wrestler several years ago. And
on the Olympic team, I believe, in '80, even though we didn't get to go.
Stalemate it, let's go, guys.
And so here they go, and they're squaring it off for the first time in a big Iowa State-Iowa dual meet.
Like I said, we're tied on key matches. We have one left, at 133. Both these guys are feeling each other out a little bit. A lot of hand fighting. Iowa State's probably going to think they need an upset. Get themselves back in there. This is one they'd like to get in. There's a shot.
And the reason you're saying upset is because Jody Strittmatter is ranked number 3 in the nation right now. Iowa State's Matt Azevedo ranked 14th.
Well, Weber pulled an upset, so they figure they got to get back into it.
That's right. And so it's Iowa State's time here for an upset, because that's what it would be. You might ask why Matt Azevedo transferred from Arizona State, and as I look at Arizona State, they have a number 7 ranked 125-pounder in Kawamura, and so hey, Azevedo just wanted to get in the lineup somewhere and become an All-American, and he landed here with Bobby Douglas.
Well, of course, Bobby was at Arizona State, so he's got a few ties there, so it probably didn't take too many different connections to get him here. Nobody's penetrating too well. They're doing a lot of fighting, hand fighting, doing a lot of kind of reaching in.
Neither have probably ever wrestled before 12,300.
Maybe in their state tournament.
$50 seconds left in the first period of the 125-pound
Front
match.
headlock coming around, looking for a control situation. Doesn't have it yet.
That's Jody Strittmatter from Iowa in the black on top, trying to get 2 points, but he doesn't yet. It's 0-0 in the first period. Jody Strittmatter from Iowa, Matt Azevedo from Iowa State. I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons, bringing you number 1 ranked Iowa State versus number 2 Iowa. And the number 2 Hawkeyes are ahead 14-12 with only 3 matches left in the big meet.
The shot by Strittmatter needs to pick the ankle up and get the other ankle. Done a good job of getting back to the center. Uh-oh, he stepped out.
Gotcha.
He's going to have to finish in a hurry. They've got a whizzer in there. Time's going to run out on him. 0-0.
He got in a few times, but he didn't complete. It's 0-0 at the end of the first period at 125 pounds between Azevedo from Iowa State, Strittmatter from Iowa. Azevedo, Iowa State, chooses to go down underneath, trying to strike first to get an escape here or a reversal. Strittmatter on top, and he's tough on top.
Well, that's where he's been able to do a good job. He's a legger, and he gets in there and cranks on the bar Nelson a little bit. Just don't know exactly what the situation is here. Looks like Azevedo did a good job of limping, putting him in trouble a little bit. He needs to shake it a little bit more. Needs to shake it. He's got that leg in there.
What do you mean limping, Dan?
He needs to limp the shoulder out and slide him off his right side. Somehow he's been able to get that back in there a little bit. He needed to follow through a little bit. He's tough on the bars, but Azevedo doing a good job of keeping the real strong arm bar out there. Stalemate.
Strittmatter, who's on top right there, Jody Strittmatter, a junior from Ebensburg, Pennsylvania. As we said, he was a 2-time national champion, Division II for University of Pittsburgh, Johnstown.
Cover him.
Strittmatter riding. He's now got almost a minute riding time over Matt Azevedo, another junior transfer from Arizona State. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. And he was coached by John Azevedo in high school, his uncle, as Dan mentioned, an Olympian in his own right.
Here's where the new rules are supposed to be in position.
To let him wrestle?
A little bit more. He's watching it. Don't think he's got the head turned well enough.
No,
potentially dangerous, I believe.
Illegal, he called it.
If he calls it illegal, then he didn't read the rule book.
Whoa.
He forgot to read the rule book, but that's a good call for the Cyclones. And there's Coach Zaleski talking to him as well.
His hand came up on the shoulder blade and pushed him forward. Here we go, you're down. Red, you're down.
Good call for the Cyclones, bad call for the Hawkeyes. Bad call for wrestling as far as letting people go to the pin. And that's what they're trying to do. But you got to watch out for the safety. That's number one.
And the referee has been involved in this meet because Zach Thompson got beat 2-1 by Lee Weber earlier, and it was the hand in the face call by referee Bill Rotes. And so he has affected this meet so far, and so each team coming out with some questionable calls by the referee.
Azevedo's working harder, needs to limp. It's close, there's not much time left here.
End of the second period. We got 3 more. There's Cody Sanderson getting ready for the next match, 133. His rematch with Eric Jurgens, #1 versus #2 in the nation. We've got the teams ranked #1 and 2. Then we've got the next match, #1 and #2. And right here, it's 1-0 in favor of Matt Azevedo from Iowa State on top of Jody Strittmatter. And
that may be a big match, that next one, but this is a bigger one right now. Both guys are in position to win yet.
Actually, the advantage right now, Strittmatter with riding time. It's 1-1 on the scoreboard. Effectively, it's 2-1 in favor of Strittmatter. Azevedo from Iowa State needs a takedown.
Front headlock trying to go behind. He's not getting an angle. Azevedo's doing a good job of staying square there. He lets him come around a little bit, and it looks like it's a 2-point takedown. I don't know if he lost a little fight there because in the first period he was doing a better job of staying square with him. There they're calling because he keeps his head down. And here he goes with that same situation. I don't know if I would piddle with that move. The referee called it illegal last time.
Yeah, oh.
I would stop that right there.
Hey, he just, whoa.
Potentially dangerous that time.
What was the difference there?
There really wasn't a whole lot of difference. But if Strittmatter wants to make that move work, he has to block the head. If you don't block the head, it looks like it's dangerous, potentially dangerous, or it can become illegal. And he's not blocking the head. Right there.
There's the replay.
Yeah, the head is not blocked. Where, hey, I would have probably called that one more than the other one.
I was going to say, I think if Strittmatter wants to make it work, he better wait for another referee.
I think I'd stay away from that move.
What do you think about this action, Jim?
Well, it's pretty intense action here, but it's obvious that right now, physically, the Strittmatter's getting the better of it here. He's keeping Azevedo's head down, punishing him here, and this is where the ground game, so to speak, the riding on top really works.
He's going to have to, not much time here. Doing a good job of staying neutral there. Doing a good job of staying neutral. It looks like he can get back points, but it doesn't really matter. He's going to have to get a fall to get any.
Well, he has proven that he's tough on top, and he's taken his riding to a win. And that win is 3-1 in favor of Jody Strittmatter from Iowa. 3 more points for Iowa, makes it 17-12. 2 matches left. Win, there's Jody Strittmatter. His first big win for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 17-12, Iowa, #2 ranked over Iowa State, #1 ranked. 133 pounds. The next match between #1 ranked Cody Sanderson, #2 ranked Eric Jurgens.
Here's a big matchup. One of the keys, 3rd key of the night. They're split 1-1. Look at the crowd, good crowd here. I think they're both improved from last year. I really do. I think they're both improved.
Well, we're going to find out. It's 133. Number 1 ranked Cody Sanderson in the red from the Iowa State Cyclones versus number 2 ranked Eric Jurgens from Iowa. The last 3 matches have been won by Eric Jurgens. The first time they met, Cody Sanderson won. But the last 3 have been won by Eric Jurgens in the black from Iowa. Yet, he's ranked number 2 behind Sanderson. Why? Sanderson finished 2nd in the nation last year, Jurgens 3rd.
Center it.
You want that position. You want that position. Circle left. That's your position. Circle left.
Sanderson has some pretty funky stuff when you put an underhook on him. I've seen him do some maneuvers here. A lot of head slapping there, both guys.
9th match of the evening for our debut in college wrestling. Number 1 ranked Iowa State Cyclones versus number 2 ranked Iowa. Cody Sanderson in the red versus Eric Jurgens in the black from Iowa.
I might point out that this Cody Sanderson is an excellent student, and he was actually looking to get in someplace to go to a medical school. And I know a pretty good medical school down the road there that he that would like to have some interest in this guy, hopefully. But the reason why I would say that is because Iowa is an excellent medical school, University of Iowa.
Dan, we're talking with Dan Gable, who wrestled for the Iowa State Cyclones, then made his way down to the University of Iowa where he coached. And we're talking about Cody Sanderson, excellent student, looking to get into med school, and the oldest of the Sanderson brothers. 1 tonight has won, that's Cale. 1 has lost, Cole, and Cody's trying to make at least 2 wins for the Sandersons tonight. He's got a tall task trying to beat somebody he hasn't beaten in 3 matches. Eric Jurgens.
Hey, I'm living proof of the Iowa Medical School. Not just these last 2 hip replacements, but the rest of my surgeries as well. So, and I feel great.
You're the bionic man. You've been put back together by him, haven't you?
No, not yet. 6 or 7 more parts, and I'll call myself that. Right now, I'm still feeling very good.
Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable, Jim Gibbons. We're looking at Cody Sanderson in the red, number 1 ranked wrestler from Iowa State at 133 pounds, going against Eric Jurgens from Iowa. It's 0-0. 50 seconds left in the first period. Score, Iowa 17, Iowa State 12 after 8 matches, 2 to go.
Tough match.
There's Cale Sanderson. He had a big win, disqualification over Paul Jenn, and he was
on him.
He was in motion the whole time, and that whole time wasn't a long time because that was in the 2nd period that the disqualification happened.
Nobody's really been close yet, even though Jurgens has been able to do some maneuvering.
As you've identified, Dan, kind of identifying their home state, it's Utah versus Iowa. There's Jim Zaleski, an Iowa product.
No, it's Iowa State versus Iowa.
You're trying to confuse me, and you do a good job of it. Utah product here, Sanderson versus Maquoketa. Iowa product, Eric Jurgens.
This is where Sanderson's been familiar with Greco-Roman. He has some pretty good throws up there. Jurgens is more of a leg attacker. When you put 3 Sandersons into the state of Iowa and do as well as they're doing, I think the state better start saying that they're Iowa Staters.
There's Cole Sanderson, the middle brother in the middleweight of the Sandersons. Had a tough time tonight against T.J. Williams. Everybody has a tough time against T.J. Williams. In fact, as we mentioned, T.J. Williams at 157 pounds, he has never been beaten in an Iowa Hawkeye uniform. 44-0, only a junior. Right now, we're looking at a Hawkeye on top. That's Eric Jurgens in the start of the 2nd period. It's 0-0. Eric Jurgens on top of Cody Sanderson. Rivals for the past 3 years.
Jurgens really controlling that wrist. Riding. I tell you what he's doing, doing a good job of keeping the bottom man working hard, and that's real important as far as trying to take a little bit of the momentum away and shift it towards you.
You think they know each other, Dan?
Well, I don't know about off the mat, but they certainly do on the mat.
Wow. You know when you wrestle as competitive as these 2 are, and you wrestle 3-4 times, you got to think that you know every move.
Still riding, still riding, still riding. Out of bounds.
Good tussle by both of them, but that was a good tenacity for Eric Jurgens. Here we are, second period, and it's Cody Sanderson, you're looking at him, Iowa State, versus Eric Jurgens from Iowa at 133 pounds.
Good crowd here. They've been an entertaining meet. Want to get him back. There's an escape.
24 matches in a row won by Iowa in this series. It was 1987. Right?
Sure. I don't keep track of losses for the Hawkeyes, but I'll tell you, it doesn't seem like it's been that far because it's been competitive. I mean, it's been unbelievably competitive. I mean, in '95, the Cyclones were the runner-up in the nation.
Speaking of Cyclones, there's the head coach, Bobby Douglas, two-time Olympian, captain of the Olympic team in 1968. No riding time. Cody Sanderson got away, an escape. He leads 1-0 with 35 seconds left, and he got that escape before Jurgens could get riding time.
Good shot.
Good shot there. Whoa!
Good action.
Yeah, good action.
These guys.
Boy, entertaining this crowd of 12,300 here at Ames, Iowa, at Hilton Coliseum.
Boy, Jurgens did a
good
nice
hand
job.
control. Good hand control by Sanderson there. He still got the hand. Whoa!
How are they going to call it? No.
No, they go back up.
Pretty much.
Wow. Jurgens got in really good, didn't he, Dan? But I'll tell you what, Sanderson had that hand.
Somebody's hurt. Uh-oh. We don't want to see this.
He said, I popped something. I heard him. I read his lips. I popped something.
We don't want to see that. We don't like to see that.
Children 18 and under will get in free admittance to that meet.
Here we go on the edge here.
It must have happened in the action there.
Right there. It's hard to tell. It could have happened earlier, but you know, anytime you get scrambling around like that, you could hurt a knee. But you know, he's obviously going to be able to get up and finish this match. Must be a tough kid, and didn't really hear him scream or anything.
No.
You know, he just really kept it in. I'll tell you, the difference between this match so far has been, I felt Jurgens is controlling the ties more than he has in the past. I remember all the matches, and Sanderson seemed to me like he was controlling more ties. So, giving Jurgens more opportunities to move Sanderson. Still a lot of time left. A lot of time left. 10 seconds.
We're down to the end of the second period. The score is 1-0 in favor of Cody Sanderson over Eric Jurgens.
You know, there's a new rule this year in collegiate wrestling. If an injury occurs with...
There's Steve and Debbie Sanderson, the parents from Heber City, Utah. There they are. And he was his son's high school wrestling coach. Go back to the rules, Dan.
The rule is simply that if a guy takes an injury time in the second one, the other man gets his choice position, top, bottom, or neutral, or wherever he wants to. So, you know, we're in a position there. If he does hurt his knee again, and it's a legitimate injury, it really, you know, it kind of makes a difference in a match.
Right now, this match, the start of the third period, Cody Sanderson on top of Eric Jurgens, both in position and on the score, 1-0.
This is where he's done a pretty good job of riding Jurgens before as well. Wow.
That knee is affecting him.
You know, you got to take the guy back down to the mat, but you know, I don't think that sometimes you're in a position to always do that. Nice counter, nice counter. Good single leg, good counter, good action. Two tough wrestlers. You got to remember, Sanderson was in the national finals. Jurgens was third.
Third twice in a row, fought back. Big points for the Hawkeyes last year, Eric Jurgens was. Great national tournament for Cody Sanderson for the Cyclones.
Good job of controlling the tie there. Single leg.
1-1, no riding time, 1 minute. Who's gonna win it? Number one or number two?
Wow.
There's Sarah Sanderson, Cody's new wife.
New wife? It's his first wife.
Got married this summer, still newly wed.
All right, appreciate that.
We're looking at the action here, and the action has altered for Cody Sanderson since that knee injury, though. And Sanderson trying to...
Still doing a good job, though.
Yeah, he is.
Still doing a good job. Shot by Jurgens, looking for the takedown, and it looks like it's a takedown. Looks like
and he gets it with 20 seconds left. He's hurting. That's a good takedown by Eric Jurgens. There's a replay.
Shoots a sweep single and cuts back with the weight to get the takedown, and then he has to make sure that he comes and gets parallel instead of perpendicular. Did a good job of going with the flow on the weight.
This win for the Hawkeyes could put it away for the team as a team. Eric Jurgens ahead 3-1. 16 seconds left in the third period.
See the Brands boys over there? That's quite a staff over there, the Brands boys and McElravy. Now you got to be careful here. You got to be careful here. You got to take him back down and control him. You got to. There's a nice Granby roll. Good action. He needs to look for a situation to try to get a reversal of back points. Second victory for Iowa in the key matches.
The key matches, and the Iowa fans are excited. And they secure, Eric Jurgens secures the 25th win in a row for the Hawkeyes over the Cyclones, with Eric Jurgens' win over Cody Sanderson. And I would imagine you would see a new #1 at 133 pounds the next time the rankings come out. Let's go Jim Gibbons. Well, here we are back at the last match, 141 pounds. Doug Schwab, the only pressure he has is not a team pressure, it's just to keep his streak going. He's a defending national champion at 141, and he's going up against Marchetti, Sonny Marchetti.
National champ himself, junior college.
Junior college national champion and a high school teammate of Joe Heskett.
Nice. Good action by both wrestlers there.
Take it easy.
20-12. It's 8-point lead by the Hawkeyes. 6-point fall would only put them closer. It's been a heck of a match. Meet.
Two tough wrestlers here to end out the meet, and Sonny Marchetti in on a leg there, but not for long. Great hip action by Doug Schwab, who's made a reputation of, he may start a little slow sometimes, but by the end of the match in the third period, there's no one like him.
You know, this is a big weekend for Iowa State. 5 teams are here in Ames competing this weekend. 5 sporting teams.
Tonight, wrestling. Tomorrow, swimming, basketball.
Men and women.
Iowa State. It's a big weekend for college athletics in the state of Iowa. It's College Wrestling 2000. Our season debut, 24th year, the first of 9 big matches we have for you this year on College Wrestling 2000.
There's a few people leaving. We needed Chris Taylor still to be here to be a heavyweight. Nobody left when Chris Taylor was here.
Well, Chris wouldn't have been the last match this year, though, the way the new draw system, because they wouldn't have left before the heavyweight match tonight. That was a good one.
Actually, they shouldn't have left. They shouldn't be leaving now because you got 2 national champions out there, and they've won a lot of matches, and a lot of young people need to learn that.
Good point,
how to win
Coach.
those matches.
That's a good point, Coach Gable.
Snap, head snap. Schwab. Good counter action by Marchetti. And a takedown, Schwab. I don't know if that was a legitimate, I mean, it was a takedown, but looked a little Looked a little easy.
Let's go now. Bring it in.
Still 35 seconds to go. First period, 2-1 lead. Schwab over Marchetti. Marchetti.
Marchetti, I think.
Marchetti.
Yeah, Marchetti.
Head snap and a takedown. See, he's not circling there. I don't really understand, what's going on there.
And it's vintage Schwab too, as far as the pumping and the hitting and the short offense and boy, if he gets it going early, it could get bad late.
Well, a similar situation could happen as far as the referee could get involved if you're not.
Let's go to Jim Gibbons right now. He's got a guess.
All right, guys, I'm here with Eric Jurgens, big winner of the swing match here. You knew going into the match it would be a big, your match with Cody Sanderson would be a big one. What were your thoughts after the big win?
Just that, I definitely need to improve. And as far as our team-wise, especially my performance, we aren't forcing our style enough. We're not going hard as we can. We just need to improve on little things, definitely positioning, and, we got to pick up the pace.
Well, it's a big win for you and your program and just your national seed potential here and everything. So, way to follow through.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And what did Sonny Marchetti got in on the, what did he need to do to finish off there?
He needed to clear quicker. He held on to the leg. He needed to clear the head and the body immediately, and Schwab did a good job of, and there's that same situation. That's 3 times head snaps, go-behinds, without Marchetti circling.
Yeah, and Marchetti kept his, it was just a second, but his head was on the mat. Boom, that makes it easy for the man to go around.
Well, Marchetti has to come at him too, so that snapping action will work a lot better. Schwab completely controlling this situation from the top.
Doug Schwab from Osage, as we mentioned earlier, Osage High School in Osage, Iowa. Sonny Marchetti, a sophomore from Fulton, Ohio, went to Walsh Jesuit High School and Lassen College, where he won a national champion as in the junior college. Schwab's starting to get his motor running. 6-1, 6-2 with 30 seconds left in the second period. We're at 141 pounds. It's the last match of the meet tonight. Sonny Marchetti gets a call against him, stalling, and another point for Schwab, 7-2. Schwab ahead.
Schwab's putting the pressure on.
You get one.
Hasn't been penetrating too much. Usually at this time in the match, he starts penetrating more.
Nice.
There he did.
Nice takedown for Doug Schwab. Makes the score 9-2 in favor of the Hawkeye at the end of the second period. At the end of 2 periods, it's 9-2 in favor of Doug Schwab over Sonny Marchetti. That's Schwab from Iowa over Marchetti from Iowa State. Schwab's going to keep putting the pressure on right now as we start the third period. An optional start lets Marchetti go for a point, makes the score 9-3, 141 pounds.
He does have riding time. He does have riding time, 1:29, which gives him a 10-3 lead. Not a major. There's a high crotch and a roll through there and a takedown. I don't believe there's any back points, so if he's thinking one to score more than that, he needs to turn the athlete.
Marchetti's recognized nationally. He's ranked 16th, but he's going up against the number 1 man, number 1 ranked Doug Schwab, who won the national championship last year.
He is blocking the head there. Now he's coming off there. As soon as he came off blocking the head.
I got 1 green. Technical violation. Red was grabbing his own uniform.
Let's involve Jim in the recap somehow.
There was a penalty point. Sonny Marchetti was grabbing his own uniform to keep the arm from getting turned. There, that puts the major decision. There's another shot, another takedown, and he's in the Turk position, but they're on the edge. They're on the edge, so he's going to have to circle completely, and he loses the leg. No back points, like I said, no back points, so the major is there. unless Marchetti comes back into the match.
He's going to go optional. Cover.
Schwab going optional again, giving. Oh, and Marchetti doing a nice job, but he stays on his knees.
No points yet.
No change.
That's right there.
Still control. Now he gives 1 point for Marchetti, which makes the score 14-5. Schwab back in on the single leg. Takes him down. 16-5.
Doing a takedown clinic, but Marchetti's kind of lost what you need to win in a match right now. Kind of just holding his own there. He's trying to hold his own. And there's a stall.
So again, we're in a situation though where there are no back points. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so right now Schwab needs back points to get extra points for Iowa. It looks like it'll be a 4-point win for the Hawkeyes. It's 18-6.
Here we go.
21 seconds left in the third period.
Coach Zaleski's yelling back points. That's what he says he needs. He needs back points. Not much time left. There's a shot, and he got stopped.
Schwab, Vinny Schwab, he keeps the pressure on from start to finish and wins the match.
And that's the match.
18-6, 19-6, with riding time. Doug Schwab, big win for the Hawkeye, big win for the Hawkeyes. Final score, Iowa Hawkeyes 24, Iowa State 11.
I don't think I would have predicted that.
I don't think many did.
No.
The Hawkeyes not only won 2 of the 3 swing matches, but they got a big upset.
At 197 with Weber over Thompson.
So that's winning 7 matches out of 10. You know, one of the things Iowa State Cyclones are going to need to win in big matches like this is at least 2 of the 3 Sandersons to win. They only had 1. And what do you think, Jim? Jim Gibbons.
Okay, I've got the winning coach here, Jim Zaleski. Won the big swing matches and even got an upset. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there was a lot of tough matches in this meet. You know, they could have won either way, and I thought 97 was a big key match, especially when coming out of the locker room and Sanderson getting that DQ. So that was a big match for Weber because he's moving up to 97, really hasn't beaten anybody good, and Thompson's a good guy there.
Well, you're looking for a first semester evaluation. What do you give your team right now?
Oh, right now I think some individuals are wrestling very good, and I think some individuals that need some work. So this is where you find out where you're at. It's early, both teams. We're in this meet, and I think we can both take something out of it and go from here.
Well, it's a great environment here. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. And give me your thought, Dan, of the match tonight.
Well, I'm a little surprised. I felt it was probably going to come down to the last match or so, and it didn't do that. But I think both teams are still very capable of doing unbelievable things this year, and I don't think anybody's out of it right now.
Well, it's number 1 versus number 2. The number 2 gets the number 1 guys. The final score was once again Iowa 24, Iowa State 12. College wrestling will return to Iowa Public Television this Sunday, December 12th at 1 p.m. for live coverage of Ohio State versus Northern Iowa. It should be a very competitive matchup. Plan to watch. That's Sunday, live at 1 p.m. In the meantime, you can reach us on the World Wide Web at www.collegewrestling.iptv.org. That's www.collegewrestlingiptv.org. Now, for Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons, I'm Tim Johnson saying good night for Iowa Public Television Sports.
Funding for this college wrestling presentation has been provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television, by the Independent Insurance Agents of Iowa, whose personal, professional service is their #1 priority, all the time, every time, by Plain Talk Printing, a Des Moines-based commercial offset printer helping Iowans send clear, colorful, and focused messages for over 100 years. Plain Talk Printing, raising the color bar to a new standard. And by Allied Insurance, a member of Nationwide Insurance, proud to be a supporter of Iowa's outstanding college athletes. College Wrestling 2000 is now available on video cassette by calling 1-800-444-IPTV. Each videotape is $19.95, or the entire 9-meet series is available for a reduced price of $143.95 plus $375 shipping per tape. Tapes are delivered to your home approximately 2 weeks after the broadcast date, and funds go to defray production costs for college wrestling. Call 1-800-444-IPTV. And thanks for supporting Iowa Public Television.